Hello everyone. In this video I want to show you a few tools that are very useful in SolidWorks drawing tools. And if you take a SolidWorks drawing tools certification exam, which is a professional advanced certification, CSWPA, you might see this type of question or these types of questions a lot. So they might give you an assembly like this. And if you look at the planes of that assembly, they are not parallel to any of these major planes. And basically, if you create your drawing views, you're not going to get anything nice. Okay, so clearly you see, look at the front view, look at the top view, and look at the right view. Okay, so here is the isometric view. Clearly you see this is like the top view, this is the right view, and so on. So, and here to show you that, I go over there, and here are these three views that I have added from this part. You see clearly they are not useful. So for example, if they ask you what's the angle of the lever with respect to like vertical direction here, show me that. And by basically forcing this surface here to sit on the floor, right, and be horizontal, go ahead and show me a view something like this, where again this is completely horizontal and you measure this angle with respect to like a vertical direction or something. So the way to go about it is, as I said in one of my previous videos, is one of the ways is relative view, which is very powerful command. So you click here and it says, okay, give me a planar face to be one of your three major new faces. And I choose this face here. It takes me to 3D model and I say I want this guy to be my front view. It says what is your right view, and I say let's say this guy here, which is perpendicular to that, and I okay it. Now if you see, look here, it basically takes me to a drawing, and you clearly see here that the view is perfect. This face is flat, this lever I can see, and I can measure the angle of that by, let's say, going to sketch here and drawing an axis like that, vertical, and then using this measuring tool and measure this angle, right? For example, from here to what? Here. Okay, so you clearly see that here I could measure the angle of the lever. Perfect. Now, you might say, can I rotate these views to make them like that? Well, not necessarily, because there is this tool in SolidWorks Drawing where you can make one edge horizontal or vertical, but in this case it's more than that. Let me show you what I mean, because that tool can sometimes be useful, but not in this case. So you might say, for example, can I force this edge here to be horizontal, something like that. So look here, I select that edge and then go to tools, right? And then if I go to the drawing tools, let me find that, align drawing tools, then I can force that to be a horizontal edge or a vertical edge. So let's say here I force it to be what? Horizontal edge, and you see here that edge is now what? Horizontal. It's made horizontal. It has rotated the three views, but again, if you look at these views, none of them is this guy, right? None of them is perpendicular to that face. So that align edge in this case and rotation is not going to do the job for you. So you need to use that relative view, as I said. So I wanted to mention that. And now the next type of question that they might ask is, well, your assembly could have configurations, not just one. So let's say here, you see I have configurations C1 and C2, and you clearly see that the angle of the lever is changing. So they might ask you, hey, could you tell me how much is the angle that the lever has rotated between configuration 1 and configuration 2? Could you get that for me in the drawing? And the answer is yes again. Look here. So I come to this view, which is the good view for measuring angles. I choose that view, And then I use this tool here called Alternative Position View. If you look, before even I click here, when I activate my view, here it is asking me, you want me to do which configuration, C1 or C2? So I have chosen it to be what? C1 in here, or I can change it to be C2, but what I want is both of them on the top of each other so I can measure the angle between them. So I don't want C1 or C2, I want both. So here I leave that as C1, but then I use this tool called Alternative Position View, and then it says, okay, for that view, I would like to give you the other configuration that you have, C2, and you can use either one. So as long as the other alternative you have is C2, it's going to show C2. If you have more, then from this drop down, you can choose between which two. So here I only have C1 and C2. That one is already C1. So now this guy is going to do C2 on the top of C1. Look here. You see? So this dashed line is C1. That solid line is what? C2. And I can use my annotation tool, measurement tool, and get what? Get the angle like that. You see? So here I could show both configurations in the same place, and I can give you both of the angles. So these are some common questions that you might see in that CSWPA for drawing tools, and I said I would explain them to you. So hopefully it was useful to you, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for your attention.